people are out there. You give anything, they first appreciate, and then they forget it. Now they want your life because they think you owe them your life even. So he sleeps, and in a dream he has the God tells him that, this is why we are hidden from people, from those who we give, because they do not appreciate at all. But because you have given so much, now you have become like us. You see what's happening? You cannot even carry a body. He gets up and understands what's going on, really. And meantime, few people, they found him to kill him. And something went in his head. They asked him, do you know where that guy is and that? And he was afraid in the situation. He said, oh, you're taking that guy so and so and so. They said, yeah. I said, oh, that guy's gone. Because at that time he was wearing a beard or whatever. He disguised himself. They couldn't recognize him, those peoples. They were after him to kill him. So then, as he made a rumors that he's dead by himself, I wrote a letter to people that, you know what, I killed myself because of you. Because you're such bastards. Doesn't matter what do I do to you, you're never going to be happy. So I killed myself, but he didn't die actually. He changed himself, he came down into the people, this time in a different way. It was himself, and he said, all my money, whatever, it belongs to Mr. Joe Blow, which would have been himself in future. And this guy comes in and goes on. The story is long. You have to read the second Masnavi, which is would be the Masnavi of selfhood, and goes into the Masnavi of wisdom. How this wise man who, came to people. The moral of the story is that a lot of these good things that we do and we give without plan of God, it ends up in situations that in future, once we die and we know what we have done, we would be so ashamed of ourselves. Quran, the holy book of Islam, has a beautiful verse. I say it in Arabic. It says, Tijaratan la tabur. The business that has no benefits. The business without benefits. No profit. Spirituality is a business. It's a divine business. You want to give to be an authentic act of God that will create generosity in you. Generosity is the greatest quality ever possible to get. If you have that particular attributes in you, if you walk in the streets, people just do not know who you are. Those who have seen you before. Generosity is one of the greatest attributes of God. You will be God walking, you become an embodiment of God with just one real attribute. So, this is why many of these things, it ends up to the bankruptcy of the people. Of course, this is not a criticism to Mr. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, and I don't know, many others, not just in US, in Canada, in so many other places. One of them was a Chinese man. They're always said Chinese are very stingy. He actually spent $750,000, a Chinese man, Chinese Canadian, who bought the golden medallions of John McCrae, the war times the poet. His medallion was sold by his people, didn't have money. He bought them back and actually gave it to the federal government of Canada. No one knows him. I heard, I was just really amazed by him to do that. The feeling, how much people go for feeling good, how much they do. I wish they would understand this more. Or, I heard, for example, once upon a time as a child, I heard that the movie called Diamonds Are Forever, Sean Connery, the last movie he played, I think he got $300,000 for it, $1 million. He put all the money completely to some hospital to be built in Scotland, all of it. So There's no doubt, as I said, these things are great, especially when it goes to hospitals, which Bill Gates' money, I'm sure he's trying his best. But this is not a simple, spirituality is not a simple, believe me, it's not a simple things to understand. If all your life, Mr. Gates, you went, God, I don't know, you're 25 years old when you start the money your father gave you to start to buy that part from IBM. It took so long for you to make that money. So long. Can you tell me how much of such time and effort have you spent literally to learn what to do as a CEO of the Bill Gates Foundation? Have you gained that much of expertise? Really? Have you put that much of an effort? Or generosity was a simple thing that I have it, so it's yours. You know, Uncle Scrooge changing overnight, he saw these things and he said, time to give. You know, it's not an easy. You know the story of the Bible? Lazarus comes and says, Lord, I give you half my wealth. Ooh, maybe by that time could have been probably a few $1 million at the time. Jesus said that old lady paid more. Nobody paid a penny. Jesus said that's all she had. It's not the amount. It's how much you have. If you want to understand that generosity, mister, you literally have to give everything you have. And get lost in the world, not to be even known. They wouldn't know where you are. Go live in a small apartment. I would venture to say you have to go more. You got to go down to the point that you have no money, you have to go on welfare. If you do that far, there's a hope. There's a chance. But this kind of giving, it's great for those who receive it. I don't know what result would create in you. Like these people in Hollywood, they go all their life, the amount of the time these guys they spend to learn to memorize and learn all this arts and everything else to become a great actor like Mr. Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. And then, after 20, 30 years of spending to become who you are, tomorrow they say, okay, now's the time to marry. They think you just can go marry, that's it. Oh, two guys think they're going to marry. They don't know. They have no clue that they are not capable of any relationship. They become so much individualistic in what they do that they've lost all the ability to relate themselves to one individual as a wife, as a spouse. For them, the story is lost as far as the marriage goes. Before, the art of Hollywood was not that demanding. So people like Charlton Heston, probably Paul Newman or John Wayne, some of these guys even had second wives. They did not have to do that much because people were not that demanding and the stories were simpler. So you could easily be an actor, but not today. Because of that, they lost their ability. I tell you, there are a lot of things. I remember one day in Thunder Bay, the guy says, you know what, I did all the good in my life, I didn't get nowhere. I'm going to have to learn like these criminals to go and do stealing and make money and this and that. Was my helper. I tell him, what do you think? Why do you think to be a criminal is simpler? A successful criminal that can steal without getting caught. Why do you think it is simpler than just learning a trade? The trade of crime is the hardest trade to learn. There's nobody to teach you. You got to go to jail, probably. All of them are failures, by the way, in jail. They can't teach you anything. They can be successful. Those are successful. They're not going to teach their lessons to you. Why do you think this is so simple? You think the right way is harder, so you're going to just go to the wrong way and you're going to be successful in it? How? Where do you get these ideas? The knowledge of philanthropy is the same thing, you know. There are so many thousands of people that they give but the same proportion of Mr. Bill Gates, Warren Moffat, and God knows, the Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai, or the Sheikh of Kuwait. They give a lot too. A lot. King of Brunei, the King of Malaysia, they give a lot. A lot. You know, few of them are known, but many of them are not famous. They do not know them, you know. The greatest philanthropist of all is Mr. Mandela. That a smart individual, if he went after money in South Africa that day, the court would not go to jail, he would be trillionaires. So when he gave his time for such a brilliant man, it is as if he's given all the money Bill Gates has. You know, I'm not trying to disappoint those who are giving. Please continue to do. It's a good act. But to tell you the truth, though, it's very hard to get these things. So, what do we do then? Okay, you want to go learn physics. Is it possible for you to say that I don't mind, I don't want to learn from Max Planck and Werner Heisenberg, I don't need to know Mr. Bohr, I don't want to know even to Copernicus, Galileo, name them, you know, Stephen Hawking. I just want to start from beginning myself. I want to learn physics. How stupid is that notion? You want to learn physics and you say no to all of these things. Is there anybody that you know goes after physics like that? Nobody. People would go and study where the physicists are and where the physics is today in the university, this and that, and then they continue the line after they know where it's left off. And music is the same thing, and art is the same thing, and everything else is the same thing. Why do you think in spirituality is any different? Who's the greatest philanthropist of all? The most brilliant, the most glorious. Please study this. Please, I beg you. Is baha'u'llah. This ginormous mind. This infinite mind. Before J.J. Thomson found out about electron, they asked baha'u'llah, can elements change to each other? Can copper become gold? He says, of course. All the elements can change to each other. How would he know this? In Iran, that the dictatorship in the system of Iran right now, elected by the people too, there's an elected representative of them, created such a demagogue for goodness that is crazy. It seems every Iranian was a little darkness in them when they hipped each other over the top, which created a great black hole right in the center. Among these people, 150 years ago, Baha'u'llah comes and he says, spirituality, religion, as a virus, as a disease. Let me tell you what that is. That is demagogues, demagoguery. That's popism, that's mullahism. That's priest, that's ecclesiastic. That's priesthood. Baha'is should not have priests. I release you from obeying another man on the path of goodness. Elect your own representative. You may elect yourself over the age of 21 in a city. That will become LSA, Local Spiritual Assembly. NSA, National Spiritual Assembly of the country, and Universal Laws of Justice in the world. That is, you are electing the body democratically. That is the priest. You want to marry, you go there. You want to get divorced, you go there. No other priest. And not one person, he says. 9 persons have the power, not a single person. And by election, they change. Who in the world could imagine such a great invention? And what price to pay? The son of the vizier, the son of the minister of the Shah, who's born and raised in the cloth of